Well, today everybody, in this video, we're going to be doing a tier ranking on a whole bunch of distortion pedals. Let's get into it. A lot of you guys reach out to me and say, hey, what's your favorite distortion pedal? Or which distortion pedal should I have as like my main high gain tone, all the above, right? So today, you guys know how tier rankings work. We're going to rank them and just talk about them, all right? And before we start ranking, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so, okay? Thank you so much. So let's start off with a Soldano SLO Super Lead Overdrive. Even though it is a distortion pedal, I'm going to put it in C tier. After watching a lot of my peers' videos on this pedal, a lot of people had to just completely dime it to get it somewhat usable for high gain tones and or for like modern metal tones. And now I know the Soldano's not necessarily catered towards strictly metal, but you know, just being honest, for my genre of music and what I would do to create with it, it really just doesn't do it for me. I think this pedal would serve very well supplementing it with an overdrive, but just as it is on its own, it's kind of just, you know, at a gas all the way at 10, you know what I'm saying? Let's go with the all pedal 1987 Steel Panther signature delay and distortion pedal. I'm going to put it in A tier. I actually gigged with this pedal a couple times. I just filled in for a band more or less on the weekends for fun, you know, a couple months ago. But it was my main high gain tone and it was a lot of fun to play with. And we're not even really focusing on the delay section, but that's a cool little added bonus here on this pedal as well. But one thing I just wish is the tone knob. I just wish there was a little bit more tweakability with the actual like EQ section. There's just one knob, it's a tone knob. So if there was like a 3-band, I think that would put this up in S tier, but regardless, all pedal makes amazing pedals, and you know, Satchel and Steel Panther are amazing, so yeah, A tier. Let's go with the Plasma Coil Game Changer, the signature Jack White kind of thing. I'll go C tier. I almost want to put it in D tier because it is a very specific and kind of novelty sort of sound, and I don't really even think it sounds that good. The only time it sounds good is when Rabia Masad plays through it, but you know, if Rabia Masad plugged into a baked potato, I think he'd make it sound good too. So, you know, regardless, man, it's a really unique sound, and it's just kind of just gross sounding and kind of just almost like a fuzz, but like not a fuzz. It sounds broken, but kind of cool at the same time. It's a really interesting pedal if you guys haven't checked it out. But yeah, for me, C tier. Let's go with arguably my favorite amplifier company out there. Let's go with the Victory Kraken pedal, S tier. Victory's awesome. The Kraken series is awesome. Modern as all get out. You know what I'm saying? Like really, really tight. Don't need an overdrive if you don't want it, but if you do want to put an overdrive, it does. It takes pedals very well as well. But yeah, you guys know I love Victory, man. Victory's awesome and they make amazing products. S tier. A little side note, I feel like the Kraken, as well as several other pedals down below that we haven't ranked yet, I feel like these pedals are really pushing the envelope for what a modern distortion pedal can do. Meaning, when I first started playing like 20 years ago now, when I was a little kid in elementary school, like distortion pedals just really weren't that good sounding, you know what I'm saying? Here we are in 2023. Slowly heading into 2024, which is fascinating, and pedals are just getting better and better. So anyway, man, I feel like the Kraken is one of the front runners with a modern distortion pedal. Let's go with the Maestro Invader Distortion D tier. Man, one of my most disappointing purchases of 2022. I bought this just hoping that maybe it would be somewhat usable, but it is so vintage and so loose and so not like anything that I personally really dig from a distortion sound. And it was a bummer, dude. Let's go with the Walrus Audio Eros, the 5-stage kind of different distortion sounds. I'll put it in B tier. I actually gigged with this pedal with one of my old bands like 2 years ago, and it's great, man. I'm not really, you know, I appreciate the 5 different gain structures or whatever you want to call it, but I'm somebody that just likes one, and if one sounds amazing, I don't need the other 4. But regardless, man, it has a 3-band EQ. It sounds great. It's modern sounding. But it's just not nearly as good as like, say, like the Kraken or something like that, in my opinion, of course. Let's go with the Metal Muff, the $50 distortion pedal, fuzz pedal thing with a noise gate. I'm gonna put it in A tier. It's not the best sounding. It's actually kind of not, it's okay sounding. I was gonna say it's bad sounding, but it's not bad sounding. It's just unique sounding. But in all that, it's $50. It's got a noise gate, and it does, you know, kind of a unique, kind of cool sound. And I don't know, $50, man. I'll put it in A tier just for the price alone. Acapulco Gold, D tier. I really don't get this pedal. Like, it was kind of cool, but like, there's no distortion knob. It's like there's just one distortion level, and then like the knob is like to turn the volume and like push the amp. Like, all the way cranked is like unity gain, and then everything else is like less than, you know, unity. So it's like a really interesting design, and it was cool. I remember I was kind of stoked on it when I first got it, but like I got bored with it really quickly. Like, very limiting and very specific. It'd be cool for like some super like doomy sun, you know, sludge and stuff like that, but I don't know. Diezel VH4 pedal, A tier. A little expensive, but it's got the Diezel sound, and the Diezel sound, it's a unique sound. It's like, for better for worse, really unique. Depends on, you know, your flavor of the day, right? It's not super modern. It's kind of gross sounding, but for that, I don't know, it has its own charm. And they capture that Diezel sound pretty well in this pedal. Yeah, if it wasn't so damn expensive, it would be like an S tier, I think. The Hell Melter from Electro Harmonics. I'm gonna put it in C tier. This is like basically like a Grindstein, which we'll get to here. It's a Grindstein from Electro Harmonics, but like one thing that's not that good is the distortion sound on its own. The idea with this pedal is to blend the chainsaw in with distortion, kind of like the Northern Mauler and the Grindstein. I believe they both do that. But like the distortion on its own is just not very usable. So like after watching my peers' reviews and demos on this pedal, it seems like the best way to use this pedal would just be to do the chainsaw thing, which is just crank everything up to 10, right? You know, I appreciate the chainsaw sound. I love the chainsaw sound, but you know, with that being said, it's just, I don't know, it's okay. Let's go with the Revv G3, the purple one. Boom, S tier. I love Revv products. Revv, whether it's like modeled in like the Helix, the pedals, or the real amps, they all just sound absolutely amazing, man. Very smooth, very modern. They sound great. So yeah, great pedal. Got 2 different modes. Got a blue and a red mode, I think it is. The aggression switch. I love it. Boss DS1, the OG. I'll put it in C tier. It's not gained out at all. It's not geared towards metal players. It's geared towards like rock and roll. And, you know, kind of sounds like an old school Boss pedal because that's exactly what it is. I don't know, man. So this is actually either my first or my second pedal. I got this pedal as well as a Boss Metal Zone roughly at the same time. But check this out. When I was like 12 or 13, I was putting like little like notes on my pedal. Yeah, I mean, the Boss, you know, DS1, it's a legendary pedal, but is it really useful in 2023? Not really. Let's go with the Pathos S tier. Kind of like what I was saying with the Kraken. The Pathos is one of the modern pedals out there that's pushing the envelope, as well as the Revv series. Yeah, the Abasi Pathos, it's legendary, man. It's like, it's got the modern chug and clank and gnarliness and clarity in a pedal. It's great. Metal Muff with top boost, D tier. This thing sounds terrible, bro. Fullbore metal. This thing sounds terrible, bro. In all seriousness, I can't believe the Fullbore metal from MXR is still in production. It's just such a wild pedal, man. Like, I mean, that original promo video is still out there, and like, I just can't believe like it's like 13 years old now, the Fullbore, at least something like that, and it's like still around. You know, God bless MXR for keeping that thing around, man. Solar Chug pedal, boom, S tier. Just like what I was saying with the Revv, the Kraken. I've gigged with my Chug pedal as well, and yeah, it's great, dude. I love how it has a noise gate on board. I love how you can dial in the different low frequency and high frequency gain settings. I love how there's a depth and a presence. I love all that, man. It's like just perfectly jam-packed with all the features that I personally could want. It models like a real amplifier with the depth and the presence. I love it a lot, dude. Yeah, so S tier from the Solar Chug pedal. The Sun Life pedal, I'll put it in B. I mean, it's kind of like the Acapulco Gold, but like, you know, Sun's is like an absolutely visceral experience. If you guys have never listened to that band, check it out, dude. It's either Sun or Sun O, depending on how you pronounce it. But like, yeah, just what a unique soundscape, right? And these pedals, they're so wild, man. EVH MXR 5150 Overdrive, even though it's literally a distortion pedal, S tier. It's got Eddie's name on it, it's got stripes on it, it's got a boost, it's got a noise gate. What more could you want, man? I think I want to do a video on one of these things. I think I want to get one of these things. I had one back in the day, right at the beginning of my channel. I just never did a video on it. But I think this pedal's approaching 10 years old, and I think I would like to check it out, like as like a 10-year anniversary type of thing. 3 to go. Let's go with the Boss Metal Zone. I'll put it in B tier. It's a legendary pedal. If we were talking about legendary status, it'd be an S tier. But like in terms of sound, I don't know, man. It kind of always sounds like a cocked wah. It's really finicky. Has a lot of gain on tap, which is awesome. And when you dial it in right, it doesn't sound all that bad, right? But it's not necessarily the best sound out there. It's kind of, I don't know. It's not really good sounding. But regardless, man, it's a Boss Metal Zone. Like, you know, kind of paved the way more or less. Let's go with the Grindstein, the Christian Cola pedal. I'll go A tier. This is one of the first pedals, if not the first pedal to come out that has been since replicated a lot, like with the Northern Marler and the Hell Melter from Electro Harmonics, like blending in the chainsaw with a distortion sound. It's awesome, man. And I feel like the Grindstein is the first to do that. And if not the first, certainly the one that caught my attention the most. Speaking of chainsaw, let's wrap this up. Let's put the HM2 in S tier. I came really late to the party with the chainsaw sound, but I absolutely love the chainsaw sound. I think it's absolutely gnarly, and when you blend it, it sounds even better and just makes your guitar tones sound so much fuller and come to life. And I feel like all these other pedals that are blending the chainsaw sound in with distortion sounds owes a lot to the HM too. So everybody, there's my tier ranking list. What do you guys think of my thoughts and opinions? If there's a pedal out there that you think I should try, by all means, I'd love to hear from you guys. And be sure to subscribe on your way out the door. Thank you so much, and like this video and do all the YouTube stuff. It just helps out, okay? So with that being said, everybody, I'm gonna get out of here. Y'all stay safe, stay healthy, stay metal. See you guys next time. Later.